The box was given to me by my sister. Jim, she says, I think you're old enough to receive this now. I was 45 years old. I noticed as she went to get the box that she had to move a bunch of other things to get it out of the cupboard. There was this thick layer of dust on it. And she handed it to me and said, I never knew what to do with these things, but maybe you will. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, have you ever received something, perhaps a box of items, from a relative that has passed away? Well, I did. This was in 2012, and my father had passed away just a few months before this. And as Sheila said in the intro, as the youngest of 5, for some reason, this box made its way down to me at this time. So as my sister handed it to me, I thought, what is this stuff that I'm getting that Dad chose to hang on to for so many years? At first thought, this is just who knows what? What gets into this box? Is there something like particular about every item that goes in there? Or is it just a box of stuff that you toss things in and it builds up over time? So I've had this box for a little more than 10 years now. And at this time of the year, after I finished my Halloween candy and turned the calendar over to November, I start to think about this box again. And when Ron sent through the email that the theme for this one would be Lest We Forget, it made me even more eager to pull out this box. As I discovered, there's many memories inside of this box. Now, the oldest item that could be found inside this box was a letter dated July 3rd, 1921. It was sent to my grandmother just before she married my grandfather. And it says in it, I am directed to transmit to you the accompanying victory medal, which would have been conferred upon Sergeant D. Waterhouse had he lived, in memory of his services with the British forces during the Great War. The Great War, the war to end all wars. Yet today we still stand here with, as Christy says, thinking about lest we forget. Now, I don't know what happened to the medal, but this letter has survived for more than 100 years now. And I'm amazed at what it brings back for me as a memory. So as I said, each year around this time, I pull this box out and I've sifted through it for a number of years. Sometimes our children are interested in the things and they ask me questions. In fact, our daughter, who's now a teacher, took some of those items to her classroom to show to her grade 4 class. What was Remembrance Day all about? And one of the students actually had a very similar reaction to me as they held one of these things and smelled it and said, it smells old. What does old smell like? But there's something about it. But this year, when I opened up the box, there were 2 items that stood out for me. I had put them aside before thinking they were just doodles. And as I had a closer inspection upon them this year, I discovered, in fact, they were hand-drawn maps. Maps of a lake, Long Island Lake in northern Alberta, and a camp with where's the food, chef's house, where's the barn, where's the roads and the paths. And as I turn them over, I look at them and go, Harold Shopland, 1938. A 13-year-old boy away at scout camp doodled on a piece of bark and decided to put these into the box. What mischief was he getting up to? What was he doing at 13 years old with his best friend exploring a lake, finding the swimming hole, perhaps canoeing around, and just in wonder of everything that's there? And then I discovered a King James Version Bible, a holy Bible, that I have to at first say has the tiniest print I have ever seen. And I wonder how old this is. It was in great shape, a few dings and scratches. And the interesting thing for me is we didn't have Bibles around our house growing up. We had one on the shelf in the living room that I don't think we ever opened. But this one, for whatever reason, was in this box. And as I opened it up, there's a sticker on the front here. Presented to Mary McGugan for perfect attendance at Collingwood Baptist Sunday School.
Oh.
Christmas, 1938. Sunday school teacher, Miss Gwen Pittman. Wow. The treasures that this must have been for a 12-year-old girl to receive this in her first Sunday school perfect attendance. Now, it didn't hit me until later that those dates matched up. Here is a 13-year-old boy away at scout camp in northern Alberta and a 12-year-old girl at a Sunday school in East Vancouver, not knowing that 9 years later, they would be married and become my parents. So I ask you, as I wondered, what would you put in your shoebox? What would you want to have in a box that is found generations later that provide memories, perhaps some tall tales about things that happen on these adventures, but more so that would not be forgotten? I think about that letter that came in 1921. We get digital letters all the time now. Would we think to print them, fold them up neatly, and place them in a box for someone to find decades later? So I leave that with you as we think about lest we forget. What would you want in your shoebox for other generations to learn about you? I'm Chair Griffin.